Hello and welcome back to episode 22, I believe, of our Oxygen Not Included Let's Play on the Quality of Life upgrade. Okay, so what are we going to do this episode? Well, I think we are going to focus this episode on getting this whole metal refinery up and working. We don't have coolant, technically, or the infinite coolant from these cool slush geysers for at least a little while, roughly 17 cycles. But we can crack into here and flood this area with polluted water and use that as our coolant for the time being. So let's focus for a moment on getting all of this built. So I want to deconstruct some of these deoxidizers that I have right now, and I want to work on getting the tiles that we'll need. Mesh tile will work here, and I think we're going to use this natural gas to help power all of this. So let's get this down, and then we will have some granite tile here, and we're just going to create a little lip here, and we're going to put a generator here and a generator here and then a battery. I believe that's the plan. In fact, let's go ahead and slap that down. We'll make it out of gold amalgam just in case, and jumbo battery right here. And we're going to hook this all up with heavy watt wire. It's going to be really ugly, but it'll work. People working here are not going to be very happy with the decor, but I'll live. So, I also want to start digging down to the oil biome, which we know is here at this level roughly. So let's work on tapping into this area right here. Base, ladder, we'll make it out of granite. We'll do this and stick down a bunch of deodorizers. Alright, perfect. Let's enable auto harvest here. We're also going to need to just sweep up a lot of stuff that's gotten in the way, so let's create a little area here, and we will throw down a couple deodorizers, I suppose, in this area, but more than that, we are just going to stick down these storage bins. Perfect, and then we're just going to sweep up pretty much all this area. Let's finish up this mesh tile right here. Perfect. Okay. So, what do we need to worry about in the meantime? Oxygen's looking fine. We're doing fine on food. We potentially need to worry a little bit about water. So let's dig out here and here and set ourselves up another pitcher pump. Sandstone is fine. That way we have a place to get our water. How is the cooling going on over here? 33, 31, 31, 33, 27. Okay, we're getting into a pretty good range over here. We're finally starting to cool this down once we got this heat shield up. Replace more mesh tile. Perfect. Okay. Are these all ready to rock? Awaiting delivery, awaiting delivery. Alright. Once we get these online, we'll crack into here. There's actually a lot of polluted oxygen down here. Whoever cracks in is probably gonna have some popped eardrums. But that's good because it'll mean lots of fresh oxygen for all of our guys here. Deliver the sand. Perfect. Okay, so let's copy the settings from here. And then let's just say that we sweep up all this. Just clear this area out. This whole area is going to be a polluted water reservoir. Then we'll have a pump able to pump it out, but it's going to be relatively cool. It's not going to be freezing, ideally, I think that this will hopefully reduce that problem. It's possible that we just want to loop this whole thing, dump the polluted water back in here. But for now, my expectation is that I'm going to use it in some sort of cooling process related to oil, and using that probably to cool down plastic presses and so on and so forth. This whole oxygen setup needs to be kind of reworked, but it's doing the job that we want right now, which is that it's getting a little bit of water out of here and just making sure that we have plenty of oxygen to work with in this area. Alright, they're sweeping up all that stuff. Let's check back over here. Might as well deconstruct this. I think we're kind of set on oxygen up here. There's just so much of it, pretty much all around the base, that I feel comfortable leaving things where they're at in that regard. We have a good amount of sleet wheat. Unfortunately, these Drecos are just killing themselves over here. It's too cold for them, but they don't know that. I probably should have got this door on here sooner. This poor guy. Says he's happy, but, I mean, I think that eventually he's just going to die. More of them are wandering in. That's not good. Alright, back to over here. We want to tap into... Ooh. New duplicants. What have I got? None of these have diver's lungs. Get out of here. Alright. So once we have this area swept up, I think we just... and let's... It says there's a thimble reed. Let's go ahead and uproot this guy as well. We'll close this off with tile. We'll stick a pump over here to pump things out. And this will be just a good supply of coolant. We can store it in a bunch of liquid reservoirs if we really want. The next thing we kind of need to worry about is... All these guys are good? Okay. Let's dig this out. The next thing we need to worry about, let's also deconstruct this and replace with some tile. The next thing we need to worry about is having some place for our CO2 to go. We're kind of at that point where we can start pumping it into the oil biome once we're up and running with this whole operation. And we want to have places to store it as we do that. So let's power up, grab this wire, iron's fine. Let's do this. Actually, let's actually change that just a little bit. Just because this is going to be a more permanent thing, I think. We'll do it like this. Alright. We'll have this manual generator power this set of pumps. We can change this to coal if we like, but this doesn't have to be a heavy watt setup over here, while this one does. Alright, perfect. Is any polluted oxygen getting up here? Not really. Alright, so let's sweep up the last of this, and then we'll close this off and probably start with our metal refining operations as soon as we crack into here and get this natural gas, which is going to be a little bit of a hassle. The temperature is going to be hot. I'm not sure it's going to be that much of a problem. We will need to cap it off eventually, but for now I think maybe just sticking a gas pump in there and running it is going to be good enough. How do we want to do this? Let's dig in. And we're just going to set up a real basic operation here. Let's Let's get some granite tile down here. Huh. Germs. Germs. No serious germs problems here. This clay is eventually going to need to head its way over to the ceramics production. They'll pick up the slime, throw it over there. So, we want ventilation, gas pump, we're going to throw a gas pump down here. We are going to throw down an airlock. Actually, did I make this? I did not make this out of the right stuff. And actually, let's change that as well. Let's make both of these out of gold amalgam, because they are going to be dealing with a fairly hot area. Gold amalgam. And a manual airlock. Alright, perfect. And we're just basically going to pump across here. We can dig out this area and replace it with tile as well. Alright, this will be good enough. How are we doing with oxygen? These guys chugging along. Pressure's equalized, which is good. We are right on oxygen. Oh yeah, we're just going to set ourselves up a little filter here. That way we're only pumping natural gas in here. But we're just going to have this powered very simply. Let's deconstruct this, I would say. And we will set up a jumbo battery. We'll stick it right here for now. And then we are going to set up, let's deconstruct this. I think we want to set up just a gas reservoir up here. So instead actually of, yeah, I think setting up a gas reservoir up here for natural gas is going to be the most effective thing. It's possible we stick it somewhere else. We could just stick it up here, potentially. Like on top of this as soon as we've cleared out some of this area. Maybe that's what we do. Let's dig in through here as well. And do we even want a deodorizer up here right now? We'll need it eventually, but for now, let's just get a sort of wall built here. Let's mop this up. Alright. And now, granite tile here and here. And then we'll dig out the rest of this. And just set up a liquid reservoir, or a gas reservoir up here. I think that's the easiest thing. Oh, we killed the Paku. And somehow we managed to overflow this, which is not the worst thing in the world because it's all just dripping down here, but not quite what we wanted to do. So let's mop this up as well. And yeah, we're going to dig out this. We'll ultimately dig out these as well once we've got this mop job done. And we're going to set up an air reservoir here, which is going to contain the natural gas that we're pumping out. That poor Paku. Dig this out. Deconstruct this. I can hear him flopping around entombed. It's like the Telltale Heart. Okay. Oxygen, still great. Food, still great. Temperature-wise, looking fine up here. Slowly getting this under control, bringing all this into sort of the temperature that we want our base to be at. Good, 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 good. Plenty of oxygen down here as well. We're just going to dig out this, create an air reservoir for ourselves here. So let's go ahead and work on that. Gas reservoir. Make this out of gold amalgam as well. That's fine. This is going to be a kind of ugly crisscross of wires, but I think we can live with it. And in fact, let's just dig out this and close this off. Set up a deodorizer right here. We'll actually set up our power up here, so I think we just deconstruct this. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And we'll set up a little manual generator. And a battery. Easy peasy. So, ventilation wise, we are going to have some insulated gas pipe, make it of igneous rock. It will go up here and deliver some natural gas. And then the output pipe will head on down here. Probably like so. Let's pause for a second just so I can have some time to think. Make this out of gold amalgam. And yeah, I think we're just gonna do something like this. That's fine. Insulated gas pipe will deliver it over here. And we'll just stick a gas vent right here to deal with the rest. Perfect. Link this all up with power. A little bit wasteful in the way that we've set it up, but that's fine. Let's disable this building for now because we don't really want any pumping to go on at the moment. But yeah, so this will grab all the gases that we pump out of here. Pretty soon this will all be natural gas, and we won't need to worry about getting something else in here. Until then, ooh, New duplicants available. None have what we want. Alright, so the way we've set things up, we're just going to break into here. That's going to flood this with natural gas. This gas pump is going to pump it out into this gas reservoir. For a while, we're going to include this gas filter to make sure that only natural gas is going into these natural gas generators. But eventually all this is going to be taken care of, and we are just going to get rid of the gas filter and be done with it. We will need to insulate all of this at some point, but it's not a rush right now, just because natural gas doesn't have a lot of heat to it necessarily. There's just, you're not getting enough of it to really heat things up in a significant way. So I think I'm kind of fine letting this area heat up, especially since I'm going to have just this gigantic thing of coolant right next to it. But yeah, we're going to pump it into these natural gas generators, which are going to power these metal refineries, which are going to take their coolant from up here and put spent coolant down here. Maybe we want to put some back up here, just have a loop. But for now, I think I'm just going to have it all come down. I want to process this sort of water into something that isn't freezing, and then I can use that water pretty much wherever. I don't want everything to rely on a water system that could just freeze the pipes and destroy everything. I want to have just a little bit of a buffer. So, yeah, I think everything's kind of set up roughly the way we want it. We'll put in these connections and be pretty much ready to run once we knock this through. So, all right, that's going to be it for this episode. I'm going to cap things here, and I'll see you in the next one.